Hi, everybody. Ed Diaz here, hanging out with Mr. Eugene Man Roberts in the Synth Kitchen. Hey, Eugene, what kind of synth sound are we going to cook up today?
What do I want today?
What you hungry for?
We're gonna go with a big synth, something big.
Awesome.
Big
Awesome.
to hold some nice big chords out with.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So what we're gonna do is, like we like to do, we're gonna start from scratch.
Got to. Because when you're cooking, you cook from scratch. It's good stuff.
Some people get store-bought.
Oh, no, we don't want to do that.
We'll start from scratch.
Scratch.
So we start from scratch here. Let's go to F. Let's go C. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select our first tone, and the first patch when you restart this is such an analog sound anyway. It's so great. It's like a good starting point.
So that's what? It's actually a saw wave.
It is.
So
it's a great saw. I mean, saw is just like the best start point for a synth. It's nothing like a synth, a saw. So what I'll do is we're gonna take this saw, and like I always like to do, I like to get my amp, which is my mixer, my level, get that to about 3 o'clock.
Another quick thing about the saw is used to make a lot of sounds like horn sounds.
Yep.
It's used to make string sounds.
Yep.
And then also these big chord sounds. So that's saw.
A saw is very important.
Very important.
In the wave game.
Well, great. Well, let's go ahead and get that amp adjusted.
So we got it at about 3 o'clock. We'll start there. We'll get our pitch right. So we're going to start there because, of course, you know, we're not playing massive amounts of keys. So we're going to get it at a good bass. As we said in our previous episodes, that we like to have everything lined up so that way we don't have to hit the octave button and move all over the place.
Yeah, we got to work smarter.
Got to smarter, not harder.
Yep,
smarter. So we're going to take our first wave and we're going to deal with a couple different things. We're going to deal with the release, as we always do. The release is just super important. In our attack.
So you can hear it right there on the attack. Instead of just hitting real hard, it's kind of like slow.
Yep. And then what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the portamento on this one.
Now what is portamento?
It's more like a glide, almost, in my opinion. But the portamento, go ahead.
I think portamento, to me, it's the amount of time it takes to go between notes.
Exactly.
Or it's a slide or a glide.
Glide, you know.
Yeah.
So how do you do that is you just adjust it here. Pretty much, you don't want too much of it, especially with this sound. The sound we're going for, you don't want too much of it. If you check back with some of our other episodes, we'll get into a lot of the portamento and the glides, and you know, just check back because we're cooking something new every time.
One thing before we move on to portamento, if you held this down, and I see when you hold it down, now you can use octaves to adjust the portamento.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So what we're gonna do is, I love the way that is already. So what we're gonna do is, again, we got a good start point. We're gonna make it big.
Awesome.
So now we're gonna go to tone 2, turn tone 1 off. So what we're gonna do with that is we're just gonna kind of bring it back. We're gonna bring the portamento back some. And then what we'll do is deal with the release again.
So how long it takes the keys to let go of the sound?
From the time you let it go.
Yeah.
And this, right now, we're using a square. So I'm going to use this square, which is going to be great, because once I go to this third part, that's when I'll put my super saw in, and it's going to tie it all together.
Oh, cool.
So right there is this kind of, it's getting big. It's getting there.
And you're still only using one tone.
This is one tone right now.
That's cool.
This is one tone.
Because I feel like I could use that immediately right now if I had to.
I would.
Yeah.
Not that I could. I would.
Cool.
You know? So that's a good point. So now what we're going to do is, that one is so simple. I like to always have just a simple tone in the midst that always just keeps the body of it. So now we're going to go to our tone 3. So what we're going to do this is on sine right now, but we don't want a sine for this synth. We're going to go super saw. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch it up. I'm gonna take the release all the way off on this one.
So it stops immediately.
Yeah, so it's nice and quick.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna adjust the volume on this one. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test all three of them against each other, and then I'll know which one I really want to edit to make it big. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna bring the portamento down just a touch.
That's a huge sound.
Yeah.
That quickly.
Gotta have them huge. Then sometimes if you want, you just want to make it just straight direct, you just turn the portamento off. So with a sound like this, you know, you can always do cool things, add in different effects. But something like this, you want to. I like to keep it pretty true, close as analog sounding as possible, and just dealing with the less amount of effects, just so it just stays nice and true to what we're going for. A big synth is important, especially when you're doing stabs and different holds. Outside of using like the typical synth brasses and the synth things, you know, a synth is like way more than just picking a saw brass or picking a synth brass, you know.
And it's cool. You actually mixed a regular saw, which is just one saw wave, with a super saw, which is, what is that? Is that 7 or 8 saw waves kind of combined together?
As well as a square.
As well as the square in the middle. And then you were mentioning like trying to keep this more analog kind of vibe, so you're not using effects.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I'm not sure if a lot of you guys really know, the old analog keyboards back in the day, they didn't have effects, a lot of them.
You had to get external effects and run all of them, loop them through pedals. Or
go through like boss pedals and stuff like that. So.
This is just like a straight up big synth.
Yeah, just adjusting. You basically just adjusted your oscillator and your amp. You didn't even mess with the filters, really.
Nope. I mean, well,
you
when
can
you get into those different sounds. You know, with this particular sound, I feel you know the filters and everything starts taking away from it being just a big synth.
Yeah.
But definitely check back with us about dealing with the filters, because that's a whole nother thing.
All right. Well, this is Ed Diaz here with Mr. Man Roberts signing off from the Synth Kitchen. You guys take care and try this at home. All right. Take care.